Hey guys, my name is Savnaray and welcome back to Obduction. Let's get into it. In the last episode, we spent a ton of time just wandering around Hunrath, and we finally managed to break into Farley's place. So let's see what Farley's place has to offer us, shall we? We've discovered actually quite a few things. Let's see what we got. So this is Farley's. I'm going to always run. And what else? So this is another Battery Town Cemetery. Oh, this is the top-down view of Hunrath, which is what we're in. Interesting. Bleeder, Lake Fuel Supplies, Rail Yard, Tower Tree. We need to get to the tower. That's what I need to do. Yeah, okay, so we've gotten pretty much everywhere. That's pretty Entry Canyon. That's pretty neat. All right, what else have we got here? I'm actually no. Oh, this looks like an unfinished piece of the blue thing out front. The blue thing out front. Whatever. Anyway, I'm very English right now. Oh, neat. Okay. I do like this picture taking service here. So I wonder, I mean, I know where that is. What do I do with it? Can I, oh, I can slide it. Oh, that's helpful. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, that's not what I thought it was. What else can I play with here? Whoa, okay. That says 15, but I wonder if it also has anything to do with the, Villain numbering system. So there's a 15 there. Can I make that out of that? And the answer is no, I can't. Okay, can I turn this off? Yeah, it just turns it off. Okay. Oh, these weird. Oh, those are the green entryways. Okay, cool. All right. So that's a thing. What's this thing? Blue notebook. Seed information. Ah, so we learned about seeds in the last episode. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Can I please actually look at that? Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff to look at here. No, I want to open it up. Come on. Thank you. Yes. Oh, it's got the same sounds from Myst. Ambassador seeds were first documented about 150 Earth years ago. I wonder if that was with CW there. They occur about once every 400 days. 400, so more than a little more over a year, maybe a year and a quarter or so. If the trees remain healthy, natural seed swaps occur between pairs of seeds that we now know dropped simultaneously from healthy trees in paired sphere. When each seed was touched by species in sphere, the swap occurred, sending an ambassador from each sphere to the paired sphere. Okay, I think that's what we've been doing when we've been discovering the big spheres. Huh. Location of the swap is defined by the location of the pairs of seeds. After the first swap, the seeds recharged quickly, allowing for a quick return. First meetings were intense but naturally short. It was quite a surprise for both the Mofang and us. Over time, the seeds required more time to recharge, producing longer visits between species. The Mofang are the guys who give us the blue and red lasers. Collector seeds. Ah, everyone who arrives is familiar with the collector seeds. The bright light that we were all drawn to right before the event that brought us here is a collector seed. What new arrivers may not be aware of is that these seeds, like all seeds, come in pairs. When the tree drops a collector seed on the ground, it signals that its twin has begun its quest for a new being. That search may take hours or it may take years. When an appropriate situation, a natural threat of death, is found, the seed activates and swaps a smaller but varying sized sphere from Earth, or whatever appropriate homeworld, here to Hunrath. What? Unnatural threat of death. As Hunrath became more popular, we would watch for a newly dropped collector seed, collect it, and place it in the Entry Canyon area. This allowed us to provide more predictable entry experience for new arrivers. Oh, so that's what I saw on the way in. And provide a single area to collect any resources that may have come along with the new arriver. Interesting. Unlike ambassador seeds and mother seeds, collector seeds do not seem to survive. The inner core is spent, leaving only the lifeless outer husk. Yeah, we saw that. Mother seeds, postulated but unverified. First suggested by Alima Hamsa, 2232BH. I'm going to write that down just in case. The notion of mother seeds extrapolates the behavior of the lesser seeds to a super seed. She posited that the process that actually created the paired spheres was similar to all other swaps, but on a much grander scale. The idea that two seeds from a mother tree were scattered on the galactic winds to find appropriately similar environments. When matches were found, some processes were triggered that swapped large portions of landscape between vastly different worlds. Aha. Alima further noted that the tree's location in the center of the sphere suggested that the trees grew from these mother seeds. What? Oh, large portions of landscapes, the entirety of Hunrath, dumped into the middle of the purple wasteland. I wonder if that's what it means. Because of the similarities, it has been conjectured that reswapping the entire environment spheres might be possible with a larger scale version of the Ambassador Seed Machine. So was Hunrath transported from somewhere else? Huh. Oh, shit! Get back here. Okay, cool. Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay. What was that unnatural form of death thing? That was curious. What are all of these? Oh God, can I read this? I shall document the curious events that have transpired with myself, my family, friends, and co-workers. Hartnell of Hartwell Mining Company was a peaceful mining town founded by my grandfather and nestled within the red rock of the desert in Arizona Territory. Its 163 inhabitants heard a mighty explosion on the night of June 27th, 1903. I sent several workers through the town to verify that the explosion had not caused any injuries or damage to mining equipment. They returned and reported that it must have been a loud clap of thunder caused by dry lightning, for they found no damage. It was not until the light of the next morning that we were amazed to realize something profound had indeed occurred. At some point during that night, our entire mining facility and a large circle of the land around it seemed to have been scooped up and carried off to a completely different place, all without anyone knowing about it. Yeah, okay, things are coming together. So this is the We Get to Solve the Mysteries episode, apparently. Excellent. The entire landscape outside of our circle of desert could only be described as alien. Large floating rocks could be seen in the distance. No one had ever seen anything like it anywhere on Earth. We fully explored our new surroundings, hoping to find a way home. No way home was ever found. In fact, we soon discovered what we take for granted now. Not only could we not get back home, we could also not access the landscape outside the desert. Curiously, we discovered that a flow of water was provided from a high point of rock, and we discovered a small tree growing in the very center of the circle. Our central tree that was so important to our lives here was just a mere sapling back then. So yeah, okay. So, God, I thought that was a face. That was terrifying. Looked a little bit like a face from like right there. So the tree, yes, the tree, when it's created, steals an environment around it, and also steals people from other places. This one stole from Earth. Species description, Mofang. Through ambassador seeds, the Mofang were the first non-human species humans were introduced to. An Liang was the first to call the alien a Mofang, impressed with their advanced ability to imitate our sounds, movements, and mannerisms. Although they have a name for themselves, their language is mostly unpronounceable by humans. As a result, and because of their mimicry abilities, the communication with the Mofang is primarily accomplished by their learning human languages, rather than humans learning to speak Mofang. They have been able to learn almost every human language represented in Hunrath, enough to provide functional if rudimentary communication. The Mofang basic external morphology is remarkably humanoid: bilateral symmetry, tetrapods, bipedal, head with anterior facial features, mouth, eyes, nostrils. Other exterior features include minimal body hair and raised dorsal protrusions. Constituent is somewhat frail, due apparently to their thin and lightweight internal structure. But internal investigation has not been possible. They have ample cranial space to account for a substantial brain, and their intelligence is impressive as evidenced by their advanced technology. I get the feeling we're going to be meeting this creature soon. Yeah, they have 6 fingers. That's unexpected. I would expect them to have 2 fingers each for a base 4 counting system. Oh no, that's the Villain have the base 4 counting system. Interesting. They also have 4 toes each. Oh god, there's several of these guys. I guess this is the reading episode as well. Awry. After a certain level of maturity and health of the tree, a passage opened at its base. Oh, this passage allowed contact with 2 additional species. The first contact was with the awry. The first contact revealed the awry to be large beetle-like insects. I wonder if that's the gold things that are wandering around. We were unable to communicate directly with them in any way, but they have appeared to have some rudimentary level of intelligence. It was Lauren Toth who first made the journey through the heart to Kaptar. Haven't made it to Kaptar yet. And named both the New World and its inhabitants. The awry have 3 distinct variants that have come to be referred to as barnacle, beetle, and polyarch. Although their morphology is dramatically different from human, their internal systems, like all of our neighbors, are supported by similar atmospheric composition and basic nutrients. In their barnacle stage, the awry are completely immobile. The awry stay in this egg-like development state seemingly indefinitely. In order to hatch, they must be in proximity of a polyarch and be fertilized by the beetles after a certain stage of maturity. The beetles are the eyes, ears, hands, and feet. With only a minimal nervous system of their own, they are essentially the sensory extensions of the immobile polyarchs. They are able to execute simple commands, but apparently have very little in the way of individual sentience. Oh, yeah, we saw those things already. We saw them I've seen them before, in the green world, I think. The awry polyarchs are the intelligence and consciousness of the species. Although it was obvious that there was intelligence behind the scenes, it wasn't until Caroline Farley began spending large amounts of time in close proximity that deeper communication began. With a room nearby, Farley was the first to communicate non-verbally and learn much about the species, including some historical information. The awry species survived in their world while several other sentient species came and went. Among them, an ancient species who formed a deeper relationship with the awry, carving temples and dwellings for them in the rocks. And later, a much more recent species that took over much of their homeworld. This latter species was especially adept at mechanical construction, using it mostly to capture and process large flying creatures, using the beetles as bait. Whoa, haven't seen those gentlemen yet. Villain, here we go. The villain, the final species to be discovered were the villain. The villain had been communicating with the awry for many years through ambassador seeds, but became part of the larger community very shortly after the awry. With a large and imposing frame and a form of communication based on a complex, multi-voiced, low-frequency rumble, the initial introductions were intimidating. After several attempts, Amelia Vidal was able to begin some rudimentary communication and begin visiting the villain in Marais, which she named I think we went to Marais at some point, on a regular basis. She discovered a complex and amazing society that was able to use their technology in unexpected ways. They had the ability to quickly transform their world using extruded structures based on some form of complex miniature substrate material. I'm going to write down that the villain came from Marais, just in case that needs to be known. Unlike the other worlds, the Villain sphere is scooped out of a Villain resettlement group that was preparing... What? Oh, okay, is scooped out of a Villain resettlement group that was preparing to set off into space to find a new homeworld. This was their way of life, to put themselves into stasis and scatter themselves through the stars. God, that would be amazing. As mentioned previously, their appearance is imposing, standing about 9 feet tall with a distinct reptilian resemblance. They have 6 limbs, 2 muscular legs and arms, and a smaller set of arms. Wouldn't that make... 2 sets of legs and arms and a smaller set of arms. They control every aspect of their technology with their vocalizations, but over the years they have created control panels based on their number system that allow other species to easily access elements of their technology. Whoa, yeah, there's the base too. I knew it. The little things in the middle there's their base too. Neato. These guys look terrifying. I do not want to meet one of them. And that's it. Oh, right. Wow, cool. That just stays there. All right, last one, best one. What are you? Communication, talking with our neighbors. We take communication for granted, even with the varied languages we find here in Hunrath. But when we suddenly find ourselves among other intelligent species who don't share our culture, history, DNA, or vocal cords, it requires a huge amount of effort for the beginning of rudimentary chatting. This quick overview will set the stage for what to expect when communicating with our neighbors. What to expect when you're expecting Mofang. The Mofang were the first non-humans we met. With at least some level of similar physical vocal generating abilities, they picked up human words quickly. This early mimicry resulted in what the species became to be called Mofang. Even though they were able to mimic single words and simple phrases, it became evident over the years that huge grammatical differences were not easily overcome. Some have proposed that the difficulty may have arisen because the Mofang insist on attempting to learn every human language, and as a result were never able to lock onto any consistent grammatical structure. Nonetheless, in spite of the rudimentary sentence construction, it has been very easy to communicate, and it has been unnecessary for us to learn their language beyond a few simple phrases and proper names. If you'd like to learn more about communication with the Mofang, please contact Tam. Villain. The Villain have presented a particular communication challenge. From what we can gather, they produce sounds using two large reed-like structures inside opposite sides of their heads. The vibrations generated are channeled to resonate chambers in their skulls, where they are combined into a complex low-frequency dual tone. The low-frequency bitonal sounds are not only hard for humans to hear and resolve, but impossible for us to mimic. Wonder if you could have like two people doing that at the same time. And the Villain's hearing is also oriented toward low frequency, so they are unable to hear most of the sounds associated with human speech. Therefore, communication with the Villain has relied on technology. They have adapted consoles, which the Villain fluently control with their vocalization for use by other species. That's the thing that's chilling out in the gas station back there. Over the years, some individuals of other species, including a few humans, have learned to communicate very effectively using this method. Humans have been able to pick out some higher frequency characteristics of certain key Villain words over the years. And although we can't speak to them in the way that the Villains can understand, we are occasionally able to hear and recognize these words when spoken distinctly by the Villain. If you'd like to learn more about the communication with the Villain, please contact Vito. And the Arai. None of the stages of the Arai morphology have any vocalization apparatus. Because of the obvious synchronization of the barnacle flash and the ability of the pawns to provide for and address the needs of the polyarchs, it was assumed that the species could communicate effectively. It was not until Farley began to spend large amounts of time in the polyarch antechamber that the first clues to this communication became evident. After months of research, Farley began to have limited success with, quote, receiving some kind of, quote, messages that were coming from the polyarchs. It is apparent now that the polyarch had been attempting to communicate the entire time, but they themselves had been experimenting with various channels until they finally got a response from Farley. After this breakthrough, others were able to tune into the polyarchs and learn to listen. Both the polyarchs and the pawns have a simple organ that can sense human vocal frequency, enabling them to sense simple responses from humans. But over the years, Farley was able to learn to speak with the polyarchs via a related form of extrasensory transmission. If you'd like to learn more about communication with the Arai, please contact Farley. Okay, so we have three alien species: the Arai, the Villain, and the Mofang. And I bet we have 3 different places we can go to. We've managed to get to 3. What is this? Is this a thing? I haven't seen this yet. Oh god, there's more to read. Holy shit. Welcome to Hunrath. Please give us a bit of information about you so we can get to know you a little better. Name, date you came from, please use 4-digit year, where you came from, circumstance under which you were taken. Please note any dangers you notice. Ah, that was a neat thing. So they mentioned that this tree is almost like saving people from like things that would have killed them otherwise. Emptied and filed, 12,000 AH, 13,000 AH, 15,000 AH. Samuel Carson, how many of these are there? A bunch of these? No, okay, so there's just these 2, okay. Samuel Carson, January 2017, next year. Manakara, Madagascar. I had just arrived and was driving my supply truck along the coast south of Manakara when I recall being washed away and the seed appeared. 15,000, I don't know what the AH is, male 61. Uziel Regenbogen? I guess so. Regenbogen. 1942, March. Oh, God. Lübeck, Germany. The last thing I recall is a large rumbling while I was hiding in the cellar of a vacant building. I ran toward a bright light in the stairwell. Maria Gallego, 9/1988, in Cozumel, Mexico. On my boat in bad storm. I wonder what the AH is. Jiang Huiguo? March of 2042. Portland, United States of America, skiing Mount Hood. Yeah, so I wonder what danger we were in. The tree seems to be, I can't pick that up. The tree seems to be rescuing people from stuff. Okay, so now what I want to do is convert this. I should actually write that down, shouldn't I? It's a 15, but I got to make sure it's 1 and then 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm going to bet that that is a Villain number, probably a 4-digit Villain number, that will correspond to the tower. What I don't know is what that other superimposed series of dots was. I'll have to take a look at that later. For now, let's go test that theory out. So I'll meet you guys over at the Villain numbering panel. Here we go, Villain numbering panel. Let's test our theory, shall we? Let's zero this out. Oops. Okay, and now we will... Oh, click and... Come on! There we go, this and this. And I think this... I really hope this works. Come on. And this, and this, and this. And is it gonna do a thing? Shit, thankfully it didn't screw anything up. 406! What? That doesn't make any sense. Why did it change like that? Why did it change like that? What's... Is... wonder if it's 0406. Let's go try 0406 to see if that's the access to this tower. That would be super awesome if it was. Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. So that was pretty easy to get to. So let's try 0406. Oh, it is a 3-digit number. Okay, that's easy then. 406. Nice! I smart. I super smart. I so smart. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, this is pretty. Hey, I bet that's a backer reward item. Yep. Oh, we're behind the tree. We're behind the tree. This little peephole. Ah, okay. What the hell is this? Joseph for mayor. Okay. Was this Joseph's house? Oh, neat. Mayors Luther Roscoe, Carl Hunrath, John Farley, Benjamin Sims, Carolyn Farley was mayor, and Joseph Peter Janison. Okay, what's BH and AH? Before Hunrath and after Hunrath? It must be. Huh. I'm gonna take a picture of that just in case. I guess so, that must be days. I guess because, yeah, if you don't have, if this isn't a planet, then how do you know? Can I open this from here then? Oh yes, another shortcut. Fuck yeah. And now we're behind the tree. Hell yes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Hang on. I'm gonna take a look at this. What's over here? And this also unlocks to... Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. I was wondering how the hell you opened this. Oh, that's so goddamn cool. That's so goddamn cool. Oh, there was a whole bunch of like... Oh, hey, there's stuff here. Can I read this? I can read this. I'm going to read the other one first. This is, Mr. Mayor, at your behest, here's... Excuse me? I thought I heard something. At your behest, here is the information pertaining to the Bleeder, its history, and some of the engineering behind it. I wonder if that's the big, The Bleeder project was designed and built at the request of Mayor Sims to collect and dissipate the ever-increasing power in the entire ecosystem. What? Mayor Sims was reluctant to allow the system to come to fruition as he and others had become suspicious of Mayor Farley's death. Wait, which Farley? Was there another Farley, or did Carolyn Farley die? He believed that without knowing more precisely what would happen to the cell wall at fruition, it was ill-advised to allow it to possibly open, thus allowing what might be outside in and what might be inside out. The system has the capacity to throttle all 4 connected worlds. The idea, as you are well aware, is to suppress the ecosystem power and thus inhibit full maturity of the trees. What? Suppress it? Oh, it was postulated and since became apparent that this suppression will keep whatever unknown maturity process from happening and grant us direct control over tree fruition. Count on humans. Ah, I thought that's what that was. Count on humans to want to control everything. The rate of dissipation is sensed, and so do I. Oh, I wonder if I have to shut that off. I bet I do. The rate of dissipation is sensed and regulated automatically. The power is collected through Villain-engineered extruded cables that attach directly to the dome membrane. I was wondering why those sort of disappear into space. When the maximum power level is exceeded, the dissipation phase is triggered, creating an electrical charge followed by a discharge into the water. Ooh, water. Through electrolysis, an amount of hydrogen and oxygen is generated. Okay. We capture some of these elements for our own use, but the great majority is released into our atmosphere. It will catch on fire immediately. This gassing might be a cause for concern were it not for the ecosystem's ability to filter and maintain our atmosphere at near ideal levels. Excess H and O content is pressure generated by the process. Oh, and pressure generated by the process is rebalanced quickly by the membrane. Interesting. Oh, I wonder if it dissipates. I don't know. And as you know, we discourage swimming when the bleeder is operational. Yeah, because you'll get fucking shocked to hell. Regards, CW. Interesting. Was there another? Oh, so John Farley died. And then that must have been Carolyn Farley. 0 to 10, 10 to 13, 13 to 16, 16, 995 to 16, 975. 16, 9, wow, that's a really short reign. What happened to Farley? And why did Karl Hunrath rule for so long? Huh. Interesting. All right, I think... Oh, God, there's more stuff. What is this? Back a reward item. It is a compass. Okay. Roscoe. Oh, stop with the music. Does it actually point at anything? It seems to. Okay, so it seems to point in a general correctly direction. That seems interesting. There's... For may all your doors... For... Oh, I don't know who that is for. May all your doors stay open. That's cute. That's super cute. And there's this thing again. Is there something on the other side of it? I don't know what that is. We haven't run into one yet. I'm really scared of running into it. Wow, there's a bunch of neat backer reward items around here. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. There's a whole bunch. Can I touch this? Whoa, what the hell is that? It's changing on its own. That's neat. Wow award for community excellence. I want a wow award. This is cute. Okay, this was an incredibly productive episode, considering how completely unproductive the last episode was, and I think we're going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Savinary. This has been Obduction. In the next episode, we're going to touch that button on the left there and see if we can fix the tree. Probably go up into the top of the ladder here. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. The music suddenly picked up. All right, take care.